Hi, it's Olivia, and it's also 2023, so Happy New Year, and also insert corny literary pun here. Let's see, what do I got? It's time to turn a new page. We're in a new chapter of our lives, right? Anyway, we are also here for yet another book haul. I've got a lot of books today, and so let's just jump right in. So first up is The City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer. And well, first, I love this cover. It's got a lot of neat, intricate details. If you look closely, there's like a snake, a mouse, this skeleton, this dragon, very cool stuff, and on the back. Get this is supposed to be Gotham meets Strange the Dreamer in a more twisted, thrilling fantasy world. So already it's got a good hook. You know, I'm going to read the beginning of the synopsis because it really does sound like a nightmare of a story. It says, ever since her sister became a man-eating spider and slaughtered her way through town, 19-year-old Ness has been terrified. Terrified of some other nightmare murdering her, and terrified of ending up like her sister. Because in Newham, the city that never sleeps, dreaming means waking up as your worst fear. I don't want to be in this city at all. You know how people like to think of which book worlds they'd like to live in? This sounds like it'd be at the bottom. Next up is This Is Not a Personal Statement by Tracy Badua, and this is not only a more page-turning coming-of-age story, but it's really a story about the pressure to succeed. In this, we follow Perla, who is a Filipina-American student who is not only the youngest graduating senior of her class, but you know, she has this reputation of being an excellent student, and she really wants to live up to her immigrant parents' expectations. And so she believes that, you know, all her hard work will pay off once she gets into her dream university. Problem is, she gets rejected. And so what you have happening is this story of a lie that gets way out of hand because she actually forges her acceptance letter and goes to the university anyway. And this part really explains it well. It says, soon, Perla is breaking into dorm rooms, crashing classes, and dodging questions from new friends about her lack of a student ID. So this will really be a coming-of-age story that keeps you on the edge of your seat. And next I have Riven by Mindy Arnett, and this is a very exciting fantasy adventure story that is supposed to be perfect for fans of Leigh Bardugo and Susan Dennard. And this is a fantasy world that's built with a lot of touchstones of Icelandic and Nordic cultures. You'll definitely like this if you want a new, vibrant fantasy world to dive into, if you want to dive into some politics, if you want a new character duo to follow. You have a lot to look forward to in this. This has a lot going for it. Next up is Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling by Elise Bryant. Elise Bryant is definitely kind of coming for the contemporary romance world, not only with this one, but her other works like One True Loves, which I have back there, and she also wrote Happily Ever Afters, just very sweet stories, funny stories. So in here we have a dual POV, and I love a dual POV for any romance story. But anyway, that's what we have here, following this nerdy black couple finding love. And not only that, but if you're a fan of Elise Bryant, there's kind of an extra fun piece for it. There's an Easter egg because the star of this book, Reggie, has made an appearance in One True Love. If you like kind of, these are still standalone books, but if you like being able to catch Easter eggs like that, this will definitely be a fun author to start to follow. So next I have Manifest by Brittany Cavallaro, who is also the New York Times bestselling author of the popular Sherlock Holmes series. And in here with this is the very fiercely feminist, explosive conclusion to this alternate history duology. The first book is Muse, actually it's right here, and this is her other series, the Sherlock Holmes series. And in this, our heroine Claire has kind of won the favor of the king and is able to wield some power herself, but there's this question of if she can't change the system from within, can she perhaps spark a revolution to entirely change everything, you know? And the tagline up the front says, the king wants a muse, she wants a revolution. And next I have 7% of Roe Devereaux by Ellen O'Clover, and this is a story that puts a very fresh spin or take, if you will, on a lot of romance tropes that we know and love. So this is actually a, follow me here, a slow burn, friends to enemies to lovers romance where they are also caught up in a fake dating scenario. So it has it all. In this, we follow our main character, Ro, who is a very smart, very talented kind of tech whiz kid who's really repping for the woman in the STEM fields. And she's also created this very interesting app inspired by the game MASH that she played as a kid. Did you play MASH? Let me know in the comments. Did you play MASH? Ro's app can predict details about your life with 93% accuracy, like where you live and what your career will be, and it can even match you with your soulmate. So we have this very fun romantic premise of what if an app could predict your soulmate, and what if that person was like the last person that you would expect. And next I have One Last Shot by Kip Wilson, and Kip Wilson is very well versed in writing novels in verse. Ooh, was that too corny? Anyway, her novels in verse really pack that emotional punch, and like The White Rose and The Most Dazzling Girl in Berlin, and One Last Shot is no exception to that. It's a very poetic and nuanced portrait of this young German Jewish war photographer who was active during the time of the Spanish Civil War. She was also the first woman photojournalist to die while covering a war front. So like I said, her novels in verse definitely pack an emotional punch. And next I have Play the Game by Charlene Allen, which has this very neat kind of photo collage style for a cover. But this book really explores the criminal justice system from a different angle, one that's mostly unexplored in YA fiction, and that's restorative justice. The author herself is an attorney and restorative justice advocate, so you're getting a story from someone who really knows their stuff. So this book is this thrilling mystery that's also a celebration of Black male friendship. We follow VZ, Jack, and Ed, and their kind of more complex relationships. Next I have Then Everything Happens at Once by M.E. Girard, and what I love is that this is a very sex positive story that examines love versus lust in relationships in this very realistic and relatable way. M.E. Girard is also the author of the Lambda award-winning book Girl Man's Up, and if you're a fan of that one, you can get excited because you'll also see a number of characters from there make an appearance in this one. Even though it's a standalone, it's kind of one of those shared universe worlds, so definitely want to check out. And next I have Breakup from Hell by Anne Davila Cardinal, and the tagline up here says, "It was the best of times, it was the end of times." So as you might assume from the title, this is a more snarky supernatural story that will have you laughing and swooning, and it's not only that breakups suck, it's that the stakes are definitely raised, and it's just so much worse when your soon-to-be ex is related to the literal devil. So this is perfect for fans of things like Lucifer. And last, we've reached the end, how sad, but last but certainly not least is The Cartographers by Amy Zhang. Amy Zhang is also the acclaimed author of Falling into Place, which is a book that she published when she was in high school, which is amazing. And here we have a story all about mapping out your future and all that comes with it. So navigating love, heartbreak, grief, identity, and that all comes in the wake of our main character deferring from the acceptance to a university that was really of her mom's dreams, and picking up and moving from the Midwest to New York City on very modest savings. So as you can imagine, she has a lot to figure out and a lot ahead of her. And that actually wraps up all of the books. It sounds like we're getting a really good start to 2023 with the books that are coming out. Let me try to hold these all one last time. Okay, and as usual, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments on any of these books, or even just what you're reading right now. And if you would like to get your hands on any of these books, all of the information will be in the description. You can also feel free to check out your local library to see if they have any of these books. So with that said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, year, and I will see you in another video. Bye.